A FAM production. Furniture and Mattress. FAM.news.
We are going to talk today about something that has been so top secret. We have not mentioned it. We have not talked about it. And we're going to talk about it on this episode. And it starts right now.
Listen to this information we got from Genesis Credit. According to Experian, 40% of Americans have a FICO score below 700. That means 4 of every 10 sales are potentially lost because a customer won't qualify for enough credit or at all through traditional financing. Fact is, customers deserve a second chance at affordable financing, and no one believes that more than Genesis Credit. As the industry's premier second-look financing solution for over 20 years, Genesis provides high revolving credit lines for customers with FICO credit scores above 550. And Genesis wants retailers to know that, hey, if you're seeing lower credit lines and fewer credit approvals from your first finance option, let Genesis Credit take a second look. Find the right fit for your customers' financial needs at genesis-fs.com/thefam. Be honest, how much do you spend each year on product photography?
Aperture's the answer, Kinsley.
Products and more products and vignettes and tens of thousands of dollars in reshoots. I mean, the reshoots. And then it doesn't look consistent.
Aperture is the answer.
Look, the world's changed a lot. And one of the good changes is the tech driving Aperture.
Aperture is the answer.
All right, Quinn, you don't have to say Aperture is the answer anymore. So why don't you go ahead and tell them why?
Because it's the only tech company that Williams-Sonoma ever bought. And for good reason, Kinsley. They had the same problems with product photography, and now they don't. And now you won't.
Let's say you need a mattress photo. Boom. Place that beautiful bed inside Aperture's nifty 20 by 20 beauty box. Press a button, and the Aperture machine does all of the rest. All the lighting and cropping and shadows, all of it. And better yet, once you need a different background or different lighting, no reshoots. Your visual factory in a box does all the work.
And you know what? You save some money, you save some time, and you create product photography that can move at the speed of your ideas. Start today at outwardinc.com and tell them Dos Marcos sent you.
Because why? Aperture's the answer.
Welcome to the Dos Marcos Show with Mark Kinsley and Mark Quinn, where mattress and furniture leaders gather to grow, get the inside scoop, tell stories, and take tequila shots.
Uno, dos, tequila!
Welcome aboard. Here's your passport to a planet filled with the mattress industry's brightest minds and biggest ideas. The galaxy's greatest mattress podcast has liftoff in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Dos Marcos Show. This is Mark Quinn. I'm Mark Kinsley.
No. Wrong
possibly.
way, baby. Wrong way.
Possibly. What?
Wrong way. You are Mark Kinsley. I am Mark Quinn. Let's just get it right from the beginning.
I was introducing you, though. I was saying, this is Mark Quinn, and I'm Mark Kinsley.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were Mark Quinn because you're really not. And then, so I just want to, okay. So
we're off to a smashing start, considering that Quinn is already not listening to me.
No, after
which is pretty
400
common.
episodes, you think we could get the first 30 seconds of this shit correct, Kinsley?
Well, hey, I was going to give you a compliment, but I don't know if I should now.
I think you should, please.
Okay, that was an amazing tease at the beginning of this episode because you were talking about something being incredibly top secret, and it's definitely, I mean, you have to be hooked. If you're not hooked by now, I don't know how you're going to get hooked.
Well, right. I mean, so it has been something that you and I have thought of and talked about, gosh, how long? 10 years maybe? And so here we are after so many conversations and actually ideas. So, Mark and I have talked about live events for a long, long time. And if we were to do one fan style, like what would that look like, right? And we talked about a lot of different iterations of that. Who would go? What would it be? Like, where would it be? All of those things. And we finally landed on a concept thanks to you. And I want you to talk about how the idea was born for Dream Camp, which is what this is. And, giving you credit, Mark, like we again had so many discussions about what a live event could be, but you got so inspired with this concept. I want you to talk about where it came from and then kind of how we've taken it and adopted it to this category in this industry, and then we can give a little bit more detail. But so talk about it. Dream Camp, where did you first get the idea for it?
Well, I can take no credit for this idea because this idea first bubbled up because of the effervescent, one-of-a-kind, big-hearted, great friend to all, Mark Desjardins.
Yes.
So
C3.
Mark Desjardins, who works with C3, called me. He got a hold of me, and we ended up having a phone call because he listens to the podcast. And he noticed on one of the podcasts I was talking about mountain biking. And so we ended up getting on the phone together, and we just hit it off right away. And Mark is a huge cyclist. He lives in Appleton, Wisconsin. That's where C3 is located. And he's been racing bikes for years. He's been an announcer at bike races. He's worked all in the bike industry. And Mark was saying, I love getting together with people in the industry. It really is a joy to me. I hate playing golf, and I hate clinking glasses at cocktail parties. Wouldn't it be great if we could just get together with other people like us who mountain bike that are in the industry? Because there are more of us. And I said, that sounds like a phenomenal idea. And so all of that led up to me saying, I'll host the first one here in Bentonville. And the very first, our little anti-conference, we'll call it, was Mark Desjardins and Matt Fowler from Sleep Made and myself, just three of us. And I said, let's go rip for a few days. Let's drink some beer, hang out, have some great food, talk about the industry, get to know each other, and just have a good time. So coming into it, Mark Desjardins was saying, I want to call this the Dirt Nap Dream Conference. And so,
dirt nap is like dying, right? You take a dirt nap and you're dead, right? Okay.
Yeah, we got to that pretty quickly. I'm like, we don't want people to think they're going to die when they come here, even though if you try to keep up with Desjardins on a bike, you might die.
I hear Baxter's got quite the iron butt as well.
Yeah, Mark Desjardins and Baxter, man, when they get after it, they are tough to keep up with. I call Baxter the bionic bike man. Brian Baxter, bionic bike man. So Matt Fowler, Mark Desjardins came to Bentonville. We spent a few days talking about the industry, riding bikes, having a good time. By the end of it, we did just what you described. We decided, okay, maybe not dirt nap because people are going to think of dying. And really, nobody likes to go to conferences, really. I mean, maybe some, but everybody loves to go to camp. And so we decided to call it the Dream Camp. So Dream Camp was born because, we're in the sleep industry. Dreams are all about sleep. Dreams are about making big ideas come true. And so Dream Camp was born. So that was number one in Bentonville. Fast forward, we did another Dream Camp for mountain bikers in Sacramento, and we went up to 9 people for that one. And out of that, Mark, myself, we all started talking around this idea of people connecting through the vehicle of an activity that they love. And it really fast tracks relationships. It allows you to struggle together. It allows you to be there for each other in a very unique way. And so it deepens those connections. And so we put together all these funny, fun, but meaningful rules for Dream Camp. And we started thinking about this idea of getting people together in larger numbers through the vehicle of this activity they already loved, which is cycling. And so we launched I guess we could call it the first larger scale Dream Camp with 30 slots hosted right here in Bentonville, Arkansas. Our tagline is the mountain biking capital of the world. So please, all mountain biking towns, forgive us for that. But mountain biking is very accessible to people of all levels, not just white knucklers who want to rip downhill.
I'm good evidence of that, Kinsley.
You did great on your first ride.
We
just got to get you some proper pants and a chamois.
You have to wear pants?
No, you wear pants. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We had a lot of heads turned permanently in your direction. You weren't blushing at all either.
No.
So all of that, I really think of Mark Desjardins as the spark. And I told him this. I go, Mark, I feel like you reached into my head and my soul and surfaced an idea that's been there that a lot of people have been thinking about. And you became the spark for something to come true that maybe was in our hearts, but nobody knew how to make it happen. And so I give Mark so much love and credit and appreciation for spurring this along and allowing the fam and us to use this little, kind of world that we've helped be a part of and build, and a community that we're a part of, and bring people to it, and bring people around this campfire. And so Dream Camp was born in a much bigger way. And it really, you think, okay, get together around the industry, but what are you going to do? So we really crystallized what was the purpose behind this. And it's really this: we are on a mission. And Quinn, this has been our mission forever. We are on a mission to position sleep as the foundation of health and wellness and improve people's lives. And we think through Dream Camp and some of the bigger events that we're going to launch next year that are going to be still very famified, as we call them, we can create the future of sleep together. And one of the points of this Dream Camp and what's going to be called Sleep Summit in 2023, we'll get you involved, don't worry. One of the points is, if we create the future of sleep together, it's not going to happen in a silo that's just the commercial side of this business. We need biohackers, authors, sleep researchers, TikTok stars, medical technology people, people from the academic community, people from the business community that value sleep. Think about trucking companies. They got thousands and thousands of drivers on the road. We need to bring together all of these communities and see what happens. And I know that doesn't sound very strategic, but I'm telling you, when you show up with other people who are inspired like you, big things happen. And I can't wait to report back on the big things that are happening as a result of this invitation-only event called Dream Camp.
Well, so when you brought this thought to me, my initial reaction was, and you probably sold it this way, but like, so it's not just Dream Camp mountain bike, Mark. Like, future concepts are idea of being smaller groups, right? So maybe 20, 30 people, but it could be Dream Camp wine country. It could be Dream Camp snow skiing. It could be Dream Camp hiking, right? You can create events for small groups of people, because part of this, like the real big opportunity in it, is in a smaller group with 30 people, your ability to connect to other people, because you're in more intimate settings, you're sitting at dinners with them, right? There's more opportunity to do that. So connection to other people is huge. But then keep going with the thought of, like, you know, that the cliche of rising tides lift all boats. It's true, right? And so when you get people in a room and you start talking about this industry and you go, where are we really? Like, what's the gut check here, right? So, you know, is it Marvel Comics? Is it to whom much is being given, much is expected? Is that Spider-Man? It's one of them.
Spider-Man.
Right?
That's what his uncle said, Peter Parker. Yeah.
And so I kind of feel like that's where we are in this industry. We've been given so much, Mark, in terms of our list, the benefits, sleep, the impact on health and happiness and wellness, right? And so what are we doing with that? And are we leaning into it enough? And so it's going to be a way for us to go, okay, let's get a check. Each of us in our own companies, what are we doing to bring the health and wellness part of this industry to consumers? Is it on our websites? Is it in the marketing materials? Are we training our salespeople? Are we doing product development around that? And then outside of that, like, what can we do to inspire the rest of the industry? What can we all do in our own companies? And then what can we do together? Because if we do that, and we are all lockstep in kind of growing the idea from that, then holy cow, like, what an impact it could potentially have, not just on the industry so we sell more stuff, that's for sure, but what is the impact of it on humans? Because they're not learning about sleep, they're not being told and educated in a way about sleep that really connects it to quality of life. So that's what I love about this, the connection. Bentonville, Tara Kinsley, your wife, we all got together last weekend and we went and toured the hotels and different things. And I'm telling you, like, when I went through all that, and I saw it coming together, I got so excited. Here's the best part of this story for me. And by the way, we're not going to get into a whole lot of detail because the script hasn't been written. Like, part of the fun of this is I feel like I'm on a ski slope and I'm going down a hill, and then you have it playing out, and then you're going to go over the next hill and you don't know what's on the other side. So you can slow down to go over that hill. Or sometimes you're like, no, the hell with that. I'm just going to, like, you know, Geronimo over there and just, like, you know, take my chances, right? We're kind of taking the chance. It's a little bit of a Geronimo, right? Because we're going to go on the other side of that hill and we aren't really sure where this goes. And that's fun to me. And the last comment is the people, right? So here we are, a little bit of uncertain times. This was not cheap for people to come to, but the hell yes, I'm in attitude from people to come. it blew me away and got me really excited. And I think that is a perfect testament, Mark, to the fact that people are ready for this. They want this. They like to be around like-minded people. They like to be around positive energy. And that's what this is going to be. And I cannot wait to come out of this next week and then bring content back and like tell the stories. It's going to be so freaking cool.
And I have to give a huge shout out too, to number one, all the dream campers that said yes, and were basically throwing elbows in some cases to get into dream camp and get in there fast. We have CEOs from many major companies and major retailers, and just a whole host of amazing people that we reached out to that, you know, would want to be involved in mountain biking, kind of this fitness part of it, and then also understood the character of the world that we're trying to build. And it's been really fun to create that world together. And like you said, we're all Geronimoing over that hill together, because this is not a passive consumption get together. We ask a lot of Dream Camp attendees to co-create, to be a part of envisioning what it could be, and then to live it out with us. And so I want to give a huge shout out also to Doug Stewart. Doug is I would call him a savant, but I know that it's one part it's who he is, and it's how he was raised, and it's just his nature. So maybe that's the savant portion, but the other portion is he works really hard. And what he did was he helped us understand that we need to make sure and do something with this information in the moment. So all of our guest speakers from different parts of the sleep industry, not the mattress business. We had the business community, JB Hunt's president. We had the chief growth officer with Journs, which is a healthcare and medical technology company that deals mainly with sleep products. But how often do we interact with them? What's that?
University of Arkansas is going to be there.
Dr. Ivan Vargas, University of Arkansas. So you have all these different silos that we wanted to break down, and I call it running figure eights. So I want us to go to adjacent industries and bring that information back to our own path, right? Because if we keep running on this path right here, it's just going to get rutted deeper. Mm-hmm. But if we run figure eights, all of a sudden we're bringing back ideas from these adjacent industries. And Doug helped us in the moment understand what it's going to mean to take the speech or the content or the idea, get in groups, get together and make meaning of it and plan for application of those ideas. Because how often do you walk away and nobody asks anything of you? And how often do you walk away with maybe a few notes, but what do you do with it? So we want to crystallize people's thinking in the moment, create community, and then also be able to have the support system after the fact. So people can walk away and be like, I got my dogs are here, right? Like we got this.
Well,
together.
So yes, I'm with you. And I just want to keep building on that. Doug Stewart's phenomenal. Love him. And we've been inspired really by so many people. There's so many people's influence, I think, on you and I that have imprinted themselves on us that we're being inspired by that we probably couldn't even name, honestly. A lot of them are coming to this. But if you're listening to this, you're like, hey, man, why didn't I get a call? I want to come. It's not. Look, we had to really keep a tight circle around it. And the people that have reached out to us a lot over the years and maybe from the beginning, we went to the low hanging fruit, right? So those guys that we knew were going to be all in, those people. And so that's kind of how that part of it evolved.
And there's the cycling component to it because Dream Camp was born out of mountain biking.
100%. So a lot of cyclists, right?
And like you said, we kind of have it was almost the Arthur Ashe moment. Begin where you are, do what you can, use what you have. Right. That's where everybody is. And so we were just like, okay, we'll start here. Do people mountain bike or cycle in this community? Strangely enough, there are a lot more of us than we realized. And okay, great. Let's go with that. And from there, we know we can grow. We can make pieces of Dream Camp and the Future State Summit that we're working on more accessible. So 100%.
And there's more coming, so that's good news. And we'll be updating people. I want to build on the comment too that when we're building it, like most conferences, Mark, like you leave and it's like fine, like maybe someone said something or whatever, but it's not actionable. Like you go back and you may be inspired, but like it's not implemented because you get back and life takes over and you're in your business, not on your bit. Like, so we've got some ways to like make sure that doesn't happen. But I also want to give a shout out to my company, Mattress Firm. When I told them about this, they were like, and actually something really big came up and landed right in the middle of Dream Camp. And I'm like, guys, I know you're going to want me there, but and when I talked to them about this and they realized what we were doing, they're like, no, go do that. Right? They're like, no, go do that, because we have to be good citizens inside the category. And that's exactly what this is, right? It's bringing people together as a fam. And inside the industry, we're all in the same boat on this one, Kinsley. And it's going to be so fun to see what comes out of it. But hey, listen, if you guys are listening to this, you want to see updates coming out of it, my recommendation is for sure, make sure you're subscribed to the fam, because when we do come out of it, we're going to have clips and tons of video and lots of great content that comes out of it. So we'll be sharing it. If you text us at our podium number, which is Mr. Kinsley, you probably have it right there.
Okay, I got it pulled up right now. Okay, so
right.
It is
Marcos 2. I know that.
Yeah, 843 Marcos 2. But I'll give you the number here. So jot it down. Get your phone out or a little pad of paper. I'll give it to you twice. 843-627-2672. 843-627-2672. And the reason I want you to jot down 843-627-2672 is because we are first going to make announcements about Dream Camp and any other fam events through text message first, well before anybody else. So if you're not signed up to get our text messages, we don't send out a bunch of texts. We notify you about really good content. We know, and like I said, we're going to notify you about events that we think are going to be relevant to this community. I know they are first. So make sure and sign up for our text messages. That's the way to go.
Well, I'm so excited. I'm glad that you guys went out and just said yes and did the first one. And now here we are going to do another one with a little bit more of an expanded group, and we're going to build on it. So I love it, man. Thanks for everyone who was involved in the original. So more to come on that. If you're listening to this, no matter where you're at, treadmill, walking your dog, you're in a car, we so appreciate you giving us time. We hope from the bottom of our hearts that your time invested in us inspires you in some way or gives you information that maybe you like to get. We love hearing from all of you. Hey, man, we were listening to a show. Like, that stuff means a lot to us. So thanks for that. And most importantly, go to iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to the show, give us a rating. And more importantly than that, probably is share it with people inside the category, and let's build the fam together. It is a campfire. Let's get warm and cozy at that campfire.
You can bounce on it. Yeah, bounce with it, bounce with it. Bounce with it, bounce with it. All right. What is a hybrid? It's like peanut butter jelly, peanut butter chocolate. Hybrid so tight, there's no way that you could topple it. Hybrid on my wrist, that's a calculator watch. We add ourselves together and we take it up a notch.
Got the airflow, yo, keep you cool as it get. Visco foam alone to make you drip sweat. Get a hybrid mattress, yes, you'll get better rest. Cool and comfortable,
Hybrid like a sweater vest.
you know the game, we're ahead of the sun. Cause the two of us together are way better than one. Cause I'm cool as ice,
And I'm hot like a heater.
bounce by the ounce, now we got it by the liter.
Well, you take a spring and you wrap it up right. You can sleep so smooth or bounce all night.
Yeah.
Put two together, get a whole lot more. Get the feel of the comfort core.
You can bounce on it.
Lay back, you don't have to practice. It's the best thing to happen to your mattress.
Yeah.
Get together to do it like I did. Everybody get hybrid.
If you want somebody to get in your vicinity, you probably want to feel a little bit of a hybridity. Foam alone, out of 5, maybe 1 star. Springs and foam, we're taking care of that lumbar. Mad back support, the best
best way to shack up or just get rest that won't mess your back up.
Like a hot chick mixed with a particle physicist or a mullet. Party in the back of the business. Best of both worlds like Mars and Venus. The ultimate hybrid. Nothing short of genius.
Keeping it loose while keeping it tight. We can make you sleep or play all night. Put two together, get a whole lot more. Get the feel of a comfort core.
You can bounce on it.
No stopping when the beat gets played back. Springs keep it popping, foam keeps it laid back. Party over here, get invited. Everybody get hybrid.
Sing hybrid.
Listen, doesn't matter if your kitchen is charming when your bedroom's the most important part of the apartment.
What kind of bed do you keep back there? Does your girl wanna chill on a beanbag chair? Hell no!
You need springs and foam, cause if that bowling ball don't bounce, you'll be sleeping alone.
And if the bed don't react, then you can't get low. We got that type of bounce that won't spill your Merlot.
So stick with us and you'll get rewarded.
Cause I'm so gentle
and I'm so supportive.
Hybrid is where the magic is.
And we just killed a song about mattresses.